I am a proud co-sponsor and co-lead of H.R. 973, legislation that serves as a solution to a problem that we in this committee and Americans across the country agree is desperately needed. Just as I was proud to join with Congressman Torres in supporting this bill last Congress, and I'm grateful for his continued leadership. And while my belief in this bill's necessity remains absolute, I am simply stunned that it's not already law. The leaders of this committee, along with a bicameral, bipartisan group of congressional leaders, negotiated an end-of-year package that included this very legislation, along with a number of other bills being considered at today's markup. Democrats and Republicans were ready and willing to pass this legislative package, most of which went through the regular order in December of 2024. The only reason these bills are not already law is because they were killed on the orders of one man, Elon Musk. One man, through one tweet, was all it took to undermine months of painstaking bipartisan negotiations to advance the priorities of both parties. I can't tell you if it was fear, fealty, foolishness, or just an infatuation with chaos. All I know is that one social media post from the wealthiest man in the world, in world history, who also just so happens to be Donald Trump's biggest financial supporter, and my Republican colleagues shriveled up and allowed an ineffective, embarrassing bill to pass. And now they have the audacity to ask us to sit here today and pretend that everything is normal. It is not. I refuse to accept this scam of a status quo. I will no longer sit back and trade support for each other's bills. Let House GOP leadership use that bipartisan support to fill up the suspension calendar with only Republican bills, and then simply hope and pray that Elon Musk, or whoever the preferred billionaire of the day, is willing to permit Democratic bills to move forward. I'm done with waiting on Republicans to magically regrow the backbone Donald Trump ripped from their bodies. I'm done letting my support for common sense legislation at the committee level be used as cover to advance Republican priorities, while Democratic bills and Democratic priorities are left to rot or die because that's what the oligarch class ordered. We are in crisis, and we need to act like it. We are being led by an administration run by a convicted felon and his Nazi-saluting billionaire sidekick, an administration that routinely and proudly seeks to bend, circumvent, and straight up ignore the rule of law, the Constitution, and even federal court rulings whenever any of them stand in the way of their goals. And all the while, my colleagues across the aisle say nothing and do nothing. This administration fires dozens of inspector generals, the very people responsible for finding the waste, fraud, and abuse they pretend to care so deeply about. What's the response? Silence. This administration tries to illegally fire Democratic FTC commissioners to ensure no dissenting views are represented on the commission. And what's the response? Silence. This administration weaponizes once independent agencies to serve as their own personal enforcers to shake down law firms. And what's the response? Silence. The lawlessness and disregard for the lives of those impacted by this administration is only escalating, and enough is enough. Business, as usual for me, is over. So while I still believe in this bill, and while I support a number of the other bills in this markup on the merits, if my Republican colleagues want the ability to say their bills passed through this committee unanimously, sorry to disappoint, but that time is over. I will be voting no on every bill today and will continue to do so until we return to something approaching normalcy and the Democratic bills receive their deserved consideration. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back the balance of my time.